Hello, everyone, and welcome to Monday, week 2 of our learning adventure. I just want to quickly go over a couple things to ensure that you're all are on a successful track to be uh, to pass the course and go on to the next level. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's see. So here we are, INT 1108, Practical Computer Applications. Please, one thing I want to point out before I go on, because I'm going to begin grading the discussion questions for week 1. Well, a couple things before I even get to that. Today is actually what we were supposed to help celebrate. Well, actually, it was yesterday. It was Constitution Day. Hopefully, you all read the announcement, and I didn't see any participation, but anyway. So just wanted to point that out. Let's go back to announcements. Please review, and what did I say? Oh yeah, I will begin grading the discussion questions for week 1. Please review the grading rubric for what's my expectations are for a main post and 3 responses. Excuse me. This is where you get your points. I'll just go over this quickly. 40 points for your main post and then 20 for each of your 3 responses. And here's the breakdown. Even though the word count is the top element, I will focus on grammar and content. Content is a big one. Basically, you're making a point, you're adding to the discussion, etc. For your main post, for your response to your classmates, still content is very important. And then asking a follow-up question is good as well. So please review that when you have a chance. And there's a nice little video that you can listen to that points out, basically how the discussion questions are graded. All right, so that you will see your grades on those before the end of the day. And so let me know if you have any questions about that. So on to week 2, it's basically the same as week 1. The one thing I want to point out, just because there's been a few questions, the hands-on project, the Microsoft Word, is not actually available or due until week 3, the end of week 3. You can open it up and take a look at it. It's just a PDF that you're basically going to convert into a Word doc. If you have any questions about Microsoft Word, Microsoft Office, you can actually open up Google Drive. If you have any questions about this is just essentially the cloud application, and I suppose I can show you. So in your email, you have an email like this. If you click on the apps, the Google Apps little icon here on the upper right-hand corner, and on your Chromebook, you also have that same icon down in the corner, the bottom as well, outside of your Gmail, but this is inside the Gmail. So if you click on that, you click on Google Drive, or you can actually even click on the docs. And I'm just giving you a heads up for what will be happening next week, not this week. So please, if you have any questions. So this is just like Microsoft Word. So if you start a new document, and it'll open it up in a Google Drive, you'll notice your email address and all that. And if you go back, and I know I'm going really fast, you click on the PDF. This is actually a PDF. It should open. If it doesn't open, make sure you call tech support. There may be a problem on your system, but it's just basically a PDF. It should open in the browser, and you can copy right from here. So I'll just do a little bit of this. I'm just giving you all a head start. So you can just copy, do a, left mouse hold down and drag over some of or all of the content. And actually, if you do a right click, and I think you can do this in, you can't, so that's all right. So left click, hold down, and highlight basically all the content. I'm just highlighting a little bit and right click. So that's left click, highlight, right click, copy, and then you can go right into your blank document and paste. And remember, this is just going to paste plain text. This is the whole idea of this exercise. And I will go over this again next week, but I just wanted to give you a head start in this basic process. So, and what you're required to do, if you look at the bottom of this, and it's a little harder to use Google Docs, but it's possible. So basically, and like I said, I will go over this again next week, so don't worry if I'm going too fast. I'm just giving you a heads up. So essentially, at the very end of the PDF, there's 30 or so instructions that you have to perform on that document 31. And then once you've performed it, you can actually, from Google Docs, you can actually, under File, you can download, it's a file, download as a Microsoft Word doc, and it will download it. Of course, you want to name it, and once again, I'll go over all of this next week, but I'm going to give you a quick heads up on the project, but once again, don't panic. I will go over that in complete detail next week, so you know exactly what I'm expecting. All right, so let's go back to this week. I know that was a lot, but I wanted to get that out. So yes, you do have essentially the same as week one. You have your McGraw-Hill SimNet environment. Remember, just click on it, and it'll be a little bit easier than what you're viewing here. Essentially, you will go into a version that looks like this, and make sure that you have your course and the date. Should say my name, my last name, is September 11. And if you click, you could even click back in lesson 1 and go through the homework and the assessment. So you can do that. And then there's this little home icon. So this week you're going to lesson 2, and there are due dates, but you can go back into any of these assignments. You do see the warning on lesson 1 where it's red, it's overdue. I'm not going to take any points off. We have so many issues, so don't worry about, just complete the lesson, and the SimNet will not deduct any points as well. And just complete it, and it automatically sends your grade over to Moodle. So once again, this is the simulated environment SimNet. It's essentially your homework, and you navigate to there by clicking on the little McGraw-Hill SimNet, and it should look, your view will look like this. That's lesson 1. We're now in lesson 2. And you should have, and basically you click on the environment, it'll load, you take the lesson. Remember, anything, the lesson is actually here. You can reset your progress if for some reason. You can start the lesson and leave it, and it will save your place. And there's all kinds of fun little attributes here. And this is all about internet and browsers. So please go through that. And then you have your discussion questions. And basically, for each class, it's asking you to create a main post and then responding to 3 of your classmates. And then go ahead and read the instructions. This particular one is about internet searches. Explain the steps you take to complete an internet search. I mean, everyone uses Google, for example. So you just talk about it. Just talk about what, how do you determine what to search for? What do you do with the results, etc. Okay, and so that's the first discussion question. And the second one is here in lesson 2. Once again, you're required to do a main post and 3 responses to your classmates. This one is on security and privacy, and discuss 3 methods for keeping your computer free from viruses. And there's plenty of information in reading, plenty of information on the web. Remember, if you use information from the web, please cite your sources. Essentially, I will accept just a website. If you basically add that to the bottom of your submission, that's fine. I just want to make sure you're not copying and pasting. All right, so that is the overview for week 2. You're all doing pretty good for the most part. If you have any questions or comments, remember, I'm not deducting any points for late submissions. Continue to work backwards if you need to. Just the whole point is to be engaged in the lessons. These are very good. And then the last thing, remember that hands-on project, the first one, hands-on project 1 is not due. You don't need to start it. You don't need to access it. You should be able to download the PDF, but it's not due until next week. So thanks for listening. And I know this was a little bit longer than I expected, but all right, have a good day. Bye now.